Texas Rangers could use some good news, and history suggests that Minute Maid Park may provide just that for the Rangers. Ron Washington's team has celebrated wins 19 of the last 22 times they've played in Houston. Colby Lewis has also enjoyed success at Minute Maid with a sparkling earned run average of just over 1 run per game. Texas looks to kickstart a win streak tonight on Fox Sports Southwest. Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT&T UVerse TV. Now the threat outside of rain here in Houston. Inside, under the roof at Minute Maid, no problem. The Rangers and Astros getting set to begin this 3-game series under the big top. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Greaves, Steve Busby. Glad you could join us in the coziness of the indoors here at Minute Maid Park. Rangers looking to make it pretty cozy, too. They would love to get things turned around down here in Houston. Tom, this has been a place where, in the last several years, the Rangers have done just that.
They really have, Buzz. They've enjoyed playing in this ballpark, and they need to play well this series because they're not playing great baseball right now. They've been a little bit inconsistent. It's having a hard time getting all facets of the game to come together. But in this park, it has come together. All time, it's a nice record, but 19 out of the last 22 meetings have resulted in Ranger wins. They finished last season with 9 straight here. They've won 7 straight series in this ballpark. So the Rangers, again, haven't been playing consistent baseball. Hopefully, coming to this ballpark will get them revived.
And Colby Lewis has enjoyed it here also, and he's looking to turn things around, get himself on the winning side of the ledger here tonight. So game number 1 coming up between the Rangers and the Astros. We'll have more for you Minute Maid right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT. Rethink possible. By the all-new Mazda 3 with seamless connectivity. And by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. Now, before we get things underway here at Minute Maid Park, let's head down to the field. Dana Larson is standing by. Dana?
Buzz, thank you. As you know, this has been a remarkably one-sided matchup over recent years, with the Rangers having won 19 of their last 21 against the Houston Astros. But listen closely to Rangers closer Joakim Soria, who says you cannot expect those kind of results without also having a very healthy dose of respect for your opponent.
Well, any major league team, they're tough. I mean, there's a reason why they're in the major league. So coming here to Houston, it doesn't mean anything, and we have to go out there and work hard and face them like they were the best. I mean, they're the best, and they do, and they're in the major league, and we don't have to see them like as a little team. So we have to face them and go out there and do our thing.
So the Rangers certainly will not be taking the Astros lightly as they look to make it a perfect 10 in a row here at Minute Maid Park. Just getting underway here on Fox Sports Southwest. We'll be back in just a moment with lineups and first pitch. Rangers from Houston at Minute Maid Park right after this.
To take on Brad Peacock and the Houston Astros. We will take a look at the Rangers starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Shin-Soo Choo will lead things off. He's the DH tonight. Elvis Andrews plays short. Adrian Beltre bats third and plays third. Prince Fielder cleans things up. Alex Rios in right field. Mitch Moreland gets the start in left. Leonis Martin batting seventh, plays center. The catcher is Robinson Chirinos. Batting ninth, playing second base, Rougned Odor.
The Sonic scouting report for the Astros starting pitcher, Brad Peacock. He hasn't won in 8 games this year. 4 of them starts. 5.01 is his ERA. Given up a lot of walks, 24 walks in 32 innings. That's the 4th most in Major League Baseball. His ERA in his starts, though, is much better. It's under 4. It's over 7 in 4 relief appearances. And he's pitched pretty well in starting assignments. If you go back to last year, he's given up no more than 3 earned runs in each of his last 8 starts. A couple of those were against the Rangers.
And the Astros defense behind Peacock here this evening. As Alex Presley in left field, Dexter Fowler in center, and the fine rookie George Springer in right. Mark Krause, the first baseman. Jose Altuve and Jonathan Villar up the middle. Matt Dominguez at third. And Jason Castro behind the plate, handling the catching chores. So Shin-Soo Choo getting ready to step in. And, handling DH chores tonight. We mentioned during the last homestand that Ron Washington was going to try and get Shin-Soo off of his feet at least a couple of games in a row at a time if he possibly could. There's a strike to it. That ankle still a bit problematic. Nothing to keep him out of the lineup, but Ron Washington trying to do it more as maintenance for him than anything else. Choo now tied for the American League lead with that .333 average. And Peacock drops in a big breaking ball. 0-2 now to Choo.
He's got a good fastball and a pretty good curveball, overhand curveball that you just saw. One he dropped in for a strike. There's another one a little bit low. That one would have gotten other hitters to swing at it, but not Choo.
Peacock, a 26-year-old from West Palm Beach, Florida. Right-hander back to the plate. And that's fouled out of play to the left. Our Ford leaderboard tonight, first one of the evening, the average on the road, and I think it's Shin-Soo Choo. A .513 mark away from Globe Life Park in Arlington. That is incredible. Up the middle, but the overshift got it. Villar, the shortstop, right behind the bag, and Choo is retired for out number one.
Yeah, you watch those kind of balls come off the bat, and based on the way defenses used to align themselves, you just assume it's a base hit up the middle. But more and more you see shifts. All teams use them, and more players are having the shift used against them than ever before.
Now one out. Here's Elvis. Andrews no success so far in his career against Brad Peacock, but Elvis has gotten it going on the last homestand. He really started swinging the bat well. That average now up to .257, and he takes strike one. Elvis, an 8-game hitting streak coming into play tonight. A home run, 9 RBI. Peacock to the plate and gets the called strike. 0-2. Was walking around muttering to himself a little bit after that second strike call. Back in there now, and he lays off the breaking ball. Elvis during that 8-game streak, a .414 hitter. He is 12 for 29. That includes 4 doubles with a couple of runs driven in. The 1-2 offering. Line down the left field line. It is a fair ball and headed to the corner. Elvis around first will cruise into second as Presley goes over and has to dig it out. So Elvis ups his hitting streak to 9 straight. And his 10th double of the year has him in scoring position for Adrian Beltre.
Elvis had a curveball to hit, and other than 1, maybe 2 balls yesterday, everything he's hitting in the last several games has been a line drive. And that's one you need to hit a line drive on right there. That ball just spun up there. It never broke at all. And it was right in the hitter's zone at about 83 miles an hour. He hit it just like he should have.
Well, here's Beltre. Chance to get the Rangers on top. Takes outside and low for ball 1. Adrian just .233 the average. He had a rough homestand. Just 2 for 18. Has a home run against Brad Peacock. 1 for 4, just a limited amount of at-bats. Couple of checks at second, and the pitch to Beltre is inside. Now the Astros putting on a shift going the other way with Beltre. They have 3 players on the third base side of second. That's not a usual alignment defensively. Right-handed hitters don't usually get that kind of treatment. Left-handers get it much more frequently. But the Astros very much into spray charts and statistical analysis of trends. We feel this is the best way to go. 2-0 pitch is in. 2-1.
In addition to a curveball, which is usually maybe in the low to mid 70s. He'll also throw a slider, which is in the low 80s. That was his slider right there. He has good assortment of breaking pitches. Borderline strike at best right there.
Beltre, a check swing, and it's low. 3-1 the count. Oh, Adrian trying to get aboard to join Elvis Andrus. Prince Fielder, the cleanup hitter, is waiting in that on-deck circle. Just underway here at Minute Maid Park. Rangers coming in at an even 500 on the year, 19-19. They find themselves 4 games back of the front-running Oakland Athletics. The 3-1 to Beltre. Ground ball. And the shortstop VR has it. 2 out. Adrian not hitting that very firmly. Got it off the end of the bat, and now it'll be Prince Fielder's turn.
The Rangers still trying to put their game together. They're just having a hard time clicking at the same time. Pitching, defense, and hitting. There's times where it's all good individually, but they've had a hard time putting it all together. You'd love to see the key guys in the middle of the lineup all get hot together. Get Beltre and Fielder going. Get them both hot. That'll go a long way to solving the lack of run problem.
Check swing on the curveball. The appeal to third, and no swing. Trey Wilkinson, I should say Bill Welke, down there at third making that call.
Not accustomed to seeing Ranger teams 8th in the American League in run scoring, but that's where they are with 159 runs. Astros are last with 132 runs.
1-0 pitch. And that's low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Fielder, as you saw, a .226 average. Now Castro is going to go out and mention something to Brad Peacock. You've got Fielder, the slugging first baseman, up there, a left-handed hitter, and there's the information in 50 games here at Minute Maid Park. Fielder with 15 home runs, and he has driven in 43. Highest active batting average of any opponent for the Astros. Two and all the count. We'll see if Castro had anything to say about maybe being careful with the first base open. In the dirt, and Fielder able to lay off. It's 3 balls and no strikes. And even though you have a hotter hitting Alex Rios waiting in the on-deck circle, Fielder still presents more of a challenge, I think, for a right-handed pitcher early in the ball game.
They definitely have the threat of the long ball, although the Rangers, talking about statistics, are 14th in the American League with only 23 home runs thus far this year.
3-0 pitch, and it's outside, ball 4. So an unintentional, maybe semi-intentional walk puts Fielder aboard. 2 outs, Alex Rios coming up. Yeah, the Rangers, I saw this the other day. The club's 23 home runs, you mentioned, Tom, next to last. Kansas City has only hit 16, but the fewest games, or the fewest home runs, well, the Rangers, after 38 games, you have to go back to 1983. 31 years ago to find a team that hit fewer home runs in the first 38 games.
Yeah, the surprising thing with the Astros, they're the lowest scoring team in the American League, and they're 4th with 40 home runs. Doesn't compute.
A lot of solo home runs.
A lot of solo home runs, not a lot of base runners, whereas the Rangers are way up in on-base percentage, but they're not getting the big hits to knock them in.
Hard breaking ball gets the inside corner to Rios. 0-1.
We're lacking the 3-run homer.
Yeah, that is the truth. 4-game hitting streak for Alex at .462. .315 the average overall. Had a good rip at that low fastball, fouled it back. It's 0-2. Remember, Rios went into a bit of a tailspin that last road trip. Right at the tail end of it, he came home with an 0 for 11 streak going, and he ended that on Wednesday. And since then, He has reached base in 8 of the next 16 times he's come to the plate. Down on the count here, no balls, 2 strikes. Fouled away to the right. You might have seen the grimace on Alex Rios' face after that last foul ball, and that's why.
Yeah, and that's covering up the pitch before it, too. So there's been a couple of them right there.
Andrus, the lead right at the bottom of your screen. He's at second, fielder at first. Breaking ball got him swinging. Big hook, and Rios is gone. Rangers get a hit and a walk, but Strand 2. Half an inning in the books. Rangers nothing. The Astros coming up against Colby Lewis on Fox Sports Southwest. Face Colby Lewis, and here's the lineup that Colby will face here tonight at Minute Maid Park. Astros have Jose Altuve, the second baseman, leading off. Dexter Fowler is playing in center field. Jason Castro catches and bats third. Matt Dominguez at third base. Mark Krause bats fifth. He's the first baseman. George Springer in right. Chris Carter is the DH batting seventh. Alex Presley in left, and the ninth hitter is Jonathan Dr., the shortstop. But Colby ready to go to work. Jose Altuve steps in, hitting at .288. And takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Altuve, a 4-game hitting streak coming in. He takes low and outside.
Our Sonic scouting report for Colby. He's 2-2 this year. His ERA went to 6.12 after his last start against Colorado. 3 2/3 innings, 12 hits, and 7 runs in that ball game. 4-1 with a 1.72 ERA in 9 career games against Houston, and 3-0 with an ERA just barely above 1 in 5 games in this ballpark. So Colby has loved to pitch against the Astros. He's loved pitching in this ballpark.
He's fallen behind Jose Altuve, 3 balls and a strike. Altuve leading off for the Astros, and Colby back to the plate, fires a thigh-high strike, and the count is full. Altuve to be followed by the center fielder, Dexter Fowler. See Altuve 2 for 7 lifetime against Colby. Lewis to the line, the payoff pitch. Line drive, base hit, left field. Moreland over to cut it off, and Altuve, the league's best base stealer, is aboard with a leadoff single.
Yeah, he's 13 out of 15 in stolen bases, and Colby's just going to make sure he doesn't walk him. He gives him a strike, but a good strike to hit. And Altuve, over the last 4 games, has been swinging the bat very well. And he jumps on that one and hits it solidly into left field.
You mentioned the last couple of times we've seen Colby work. team starting to take advantage of his delivery to the plate. He is fairly deliberate, very easy to run on, and of course with Altuve's skill, there may not be anything you can do about it. You may have to pitch out if you want to try and stop him from running. Dexter Fowler up there, and a slide step pitch outside for ball one. That's as quickly as Colby can get the ball to home plate. Fowler, 238, a couple of home runs, 9 driven in. He's a switch hitter up there from the left side. Adrian Beltre, the Ranger third baseman, coming down the line just in case. Rip and a miss, 1-1.
That was a good fastball in a good location, had good movement on it. Ball tailed down and away. Chirinos, for the first pitch, set up almost in the opposite batter's box, making Colby concentrate on keeping the ball away. Evidently, that's the way they want to pitch Fowler, at least on the first couple pitches. Not this one, though.
And Altuve having to dive back as Colby made a toss over there. A ball and a strike. Fowler out momentarily. Checking with Pat Listach, the third base coach. Lewis again ready. There goes Altuve. The throw to second, and they got it. Wow. Throw right on top the helmet, and Elvis slapped that tag down and got Altuve sliding in. And Bo Porter is going to come out. We may have a potential challenge.
I don't know if he was out at second or not. It's a close play, but it's an excellent throw by Robinson Chirinos. Got rid of it quickly and threw it right on the money. The question is, does the tag happen before the hand hits the bag?
Hard to tell from there.
That's a close one.
And Bo Porter turns around and jogs back to the Astros dugout. Well, apparently he saw that replay.
Yep.
Or he had one of his assistants see that replay.
Well, that's just a great throw by Robinson.
Sure was.
You know, any time that Ron Washington is asked about Robinson, he can't help but show the pride in the improvement and the player that Robinson has become this year when he's getting a chance to catch so much.
He's had the opportunity to work with Benji Molina and Hector Ortiz, who's the organizational hitting catching coach. And Robinson's the one that'll tell you, too, those guys have just worked wonders with him. He said, things that he had never been taught, never been told about, never thought of, what have you. Those guys have. And what a wealth of information Benji is. And Hector Ortiz, a great teacher also. There's a base hit down the right field line. Over to Kenneth Rios. He can't. It goes to the wall. Fowler with good speed into second. He's going for 3. Here comes the throw from Odor. The slide. He is safe. The ball gets away from Beltre. A one-out triple by Dexter Fowler.
And not many guys are going to get a triple on that ball. Even though Alex had a little bit of trouble, the ball got by him. He had to run back and get it. But Fowler has excellent speed, tall, lanky guy. Looks a little bit like Devon White running around the bases. Odor made a strong throw to third base, the relay throw. And let's see exactly where it was. A little bit off the mark. Tough ball for Adrian to catch and try to make a tag at the same time. Could have been a very close play. Unfortunately, Altuve was thrown out before that. Rangers will play back, conceding a run on a ground ball.
And they will put a shift on also against the left-handed hitting Jason Castro. Colby working from the stretch. First pitch to Castro is a breaking ball that ends over the outer part of the plate for strike 1.
Castro has been a little prone to the strikeout. 43 strikeouts and 117 at bats.
This would be a good time if Colby wanted to try and punch him out. Tried to get him to offer to pitch upstairs and couldn't do it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Castro a .214 hitter, but he has 5 home runs, has driven in 17. Middle of this order for Houston, all have hitting streaks coming in to play here tonight. Outside corner for a strike. Colby taking something off it. 1-2. So now Lewis in a position where he can try and get Castro to swing through a pitch.
Castro leads the Astros with 17 runs batted in. but only a .214 average.
2-2. Castro having a chat with himself. Getting back in there. Rangers, of course, with that overshift on. The 2-2 offering. Got him swinging. And the tag made by Robinson Chirinos. What a play, or what a pitch, I should say, by Colby Lewis for the strikeout. And we'll show you that in a minute. But first of all, let's take a look at the Rangers defense. It's delivered to you by Chicken Express. Outfield full of Rangers tonight. Mitch Moreland in left field. Leonis Martin in center. You saw Alex Rios did right. Infield has Fielder at first, Odor and Andrews up the middle, Beltre at third. Robinson Chirinos has now thrown out 8 of 18 runners trying to steal. He is handling Colby Lewis. So 2 outs, and here's Matt Dominguez.
That's up in Pudge Rodriguez territory.
Sure is.
Now, Colby did exactly what you said, Buzz. He went for the strikeout with a hard breaking ball down and in. And that's exactly what he ended up with. Castro was not able to lay off of that pitch well out of the strike zone. And a nice job by Robinson to corral the ball in the dirt and make the tag.
Now here's the hottest Astro hitter right now. It's Matt Dominguez, a .252 hitter. But he has a 6-game hitting streak going. Hard hit ball, flagged down by Elvis. Straightens up and throws him out. Wow. Picking it clean, Elvis Andrews, and the Rangers are out of the first. No runs on 2 hits and 1 left. So Colby Lewis benefiting from the defense of his shortstop. 1 inning in the books, no score in Houston. Globe Life Park, or put your uniform on in a big league clubhouse and take the field with your favorite former Rangers. Now's your opportunity. Fantasy Camp is back, and it benefits the Rangers Foundation. It's scheduled for September the 18th through the 21st right here at Globe Life Park. For information, you can visit TexasRangers.com/foundation. And a good time, believe me, will be had by all. Mitch Moreland leading off the Rangers' second inning, takes strike 1. Moreland, Martin, and Chirinos, the first 3 to face Brad Peacock. Mitch coming off a very good homestand. He has been swinging the bat well. Down on the count here, no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, those are the first pitches that he threw to Chew. Fastball and dropped a curveball in for a strike. He's seen his 2 pitches that he uses most frequently. He'll also throw a slider. Haven't seen a changeup yet.
Wow. Mitch admiring that one into the glove of Castro, and he has gone on 3 pitches. Well, back-to-back strikeouts to end the first and start the second.
3 good pitches right in the strike zone. Mitch not quite ready for that fastball. He's been thinking off-speed pitch in the back of his mind.
1 out. Here's Leonys Martin. Leonys ready to go up there and have a hack. He fouls it off. Martin at 285, a couple of home runs. 14 driven in, and 2 for 4 against Brad Peacock in a short sample. Trying to bunt and bunted through the breaking ball. 0-2.
That's definitely been his game plan to several of the hitters. Fastball, then a curveball, and to 3 of them he's jumped ahead 0-2 with that combination.
Peacock back to the plate. Breaking ball hung outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Martin 5 out of 18 on the just completed homestand. For the month of May, Martin has fallen off a bit, hitting just .219. Late swing and a miss. He's gone on strikes. Peacock now with 3 punch outs in a row. 2 gone for Chirino.
Almost like the Rangers aren't picking the ball up very well against him. That pitch not really that close to the strike zone.
Robinson Chirino steps in, batting .219. A couple of home runs, 8 driven in. Facing Peacock with the bases empty and 2 outs here in the top of the second. He fouls that first fastball back. It is 0-1.
Go back to last year, over Peacock's last 13 starts, he has a .374 ERA and opponent's batting average of only .222. So he's had some success as a starter. He was signed by Washington. He was traded to Oakland in the Gio Gonzalez trade, and then to Houston in the Jed Lowry trade. He's been in a couple of meaningful trades, traded to teams that really wanted to acquire him, and looks like he'll get a chance to prove himself in the Astros rotation this year. He started out in the bullpen. First 4 appearances were relief appearances.
Call strike 3. Peacock strikes out the side. Rangers gone in order. We have finished 1.5. Robinson Chirinos on the Rangers. 0 and the Astros 0. Good folks at AT&T. Just use hashtag Southwest Fan Photo, and your photo might be selected to be aired during the season on one of our telecasts. And later on tonight, we will show you the selection for today. Ranger fans in evidence down here in Houston. A lot of Ranger fans down here, as a matter of fact. Colby Lewis going to work in the bottom of the second. Mark Krause takes high and away for ball one. Krause hitting just 187, but he started to swing the bat better. Modest 3-game hitting streak coming into play. He takes a changeup that hits the outside corner. It's 1-1. Month of May, you see Krause turning things around pretty well. 333 the average. 2-1 to him. Colby Lewis standing right on top. The pitching rubber goes into the wind, and Krause fouls the pitch high in the air off to the left, back into the seats. Astros came off the road to begin the series against the Rangers here. They had a 7-game road trip to Detroit and to Baltimore. Ended up going 2-5 in those 7 games. There's a breaking ball that's a bit high, and the count is filled to Krause. Krause, the number 5 hitter, trying to get aboard to start things off. George Springer, the fine rookie outfielder for the Astros, waits to be next. Payoff pitch from Lewis. Got him swinging. Fastball away, and Krause not able to make contact. Strikeout number 2 for Colby. 1 away. Springer coming up.
See what he's going to throw. He's going to try to keep the ball away, which he does with a little bit of movement on it. Krause not exactly sure if that pitch would be called a ball, I'm sure. Close enough to swing at. Couldn't quite get it.
Well, now Colby Lewis faces George Springer. Springer promoted kind of begrudgingly, I think, from the minor leagues. The Astros wanted to give him a little more time, but felt he was close enough to being ready. Hitting .215 since his excursion into the major leagues. Came up on the 16th of April. Couldn't check his swing in time, and he's down on the count now, 0-2.
If Colby can make his pitches, a young player like Springer, a little susceptible to striking out, should have a hard time against him. Hasn't seen him before. He's got a couple of different kinds of breaking balls like that.
Kind of like that.
Pretty tough assignment for a young hitter who's a little bit of a free swinger right now.
Well, Springer out on strikes. Krause and Springer both gone.
Springer, in addition to hitting .215, has now struck out 38 times in 94 at bats. He's going to have a chance to lay off that pitch a bunch of times tonight.
Yep. As long as Colby's in there, he's going to see that. See a pretty good diet of it.
He can lay off it fine. If not, might see that again.
Now here's Chris Carter, the designated hitter. He fouls that first fastball back. That might be one of the few he sees. Carter, another guy.
He may be thinking that to himself, too.
Yeah.
Carter, a little bit prone to the strikeout. He's punched out 43 times. We were talking about this before the game. Carter struck out 43 times. The leading hitter as far as strikeouts go in the American League, I think it's tied, but he struck out 46 times. And we were surprised to see that Mike Trout leads the American League in strikeouts. But not surprised based on the way he was swinging the bat against the Rangers.
You're exactly right.
Couldn't catch up with the fastball.
0-2 pitch. Colby going with that fastball at 92 and just missed away. That might be as good a fastball as we've seen Colby unleash since he came back. 1-2 to Carter. There's a slider. It's pulled over the bag fair down the third baseline. It's going to hit the short wall and carry him straight out to left field. And by the time Moreland gets to it, Chris Carter is aboard with a 2-out double.
Well, it looked like a slider. Of course, he's tall, got long arms. And maybe it had been on the outside corner, but he was able to reach for it. And yank it just down the line past Adrian. There were 2 outs. Colby would try to pitch out of another situation last inning. It was a man on third base and 1 out. He pitched around that. That's a man on second base and 2 outs.
And he will face the number 8 hitter, Alex Presley. Presley at .226 in 28 games for the Astros. 3 home runs, 7 RBI. Left-handed hitter, and Rangers playing him pretty much straight away. Elvis maybe shaded a step or two up the middle. First pitch is a tailing fastball that's outside for ball 1. Astros got Presley on a waiver claim right at the end of spring training. Was put on waivers by the Minnesota Twins. One 0 pitch. Took something off that, got it over the outside corner. 1-1. Maybe seeing Colby throwing a few more changeups tonight to left-handed hitters. Haven't seen him feature that all that much. Presley, .313 average over the last 15 starts he's had. He's hit safely in 11 of those. 1-1 pitch. Good fastball, and it's 1-2.
Well, it's the side of the plate he was trying to throw it on, but it worked okay.
Our Steel pitch tracker telling you that Colby missed by the full width of the plate, but when it's the full width of the plate, you got a chance to hit the other corner.
You're okay.
1-2. Did he sing? He did. He went around, and Lewis ends up striking out the side. Mixed in there a Chris Carter double. But Colby Lewis now with 4 strikeouts. We have finished 2 at Minute Maid. Rangers nothing, Astros nothing. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. A scoreless ball game. Rangers and the Astros. The throwback logos for the Rangers. I like to see that on the. Those are well worn. Those have been around for a while. Those.
First logo with a hat on the ball, I think.
Rougned Odor takes strike 1 from Brad Peacock.
Well, the Rangers know that Peacock had walked 24 in 32 innings. It looks like they're trying to make him throw strikes, and he is throwing strikes.
Yeah, he is.
They're taking a lot of fastballs.
Fastballs, change-ups, that last pitch, curveballs, a couple sliders.
Throwing 34 pitches, 24 strikes.
Breaking ball, that's chopped at home plate, foul ball, and Odor staying alive at 0-2. Peacock has struck out 4 consecutive Ranger hitters. You get a look at the breakdown, 25 strikes, 10 balls, and his 35 pitches. 0-2, strike 3 call. Wow. Well, one out here in the third inning, and let's go back to the studio for a Mazda game break with John Radigan. John? All right, John, thank you.
Hey, look at all the fastballs that the Rangers are taking, Buzz, and it's not like they're 98-mile-an-hour fastballs.
Right.
It must be a little bit tough to pick up, you would guess. But at the same time, I can't remember a game where the Rangers have taken this many pretty good pitches to hit, really. Fastballs at 91, 92 miles an hour, maybe.
Down at the shoe tops of Shin-Soo Choo, and the count moves to 2-0.
Must be mixing in enough off-speed pitches to make it a little bit of a surprise when they see a fastball. Those are the ones they're taking for strike three.
Yeah, and I would think what he's doing now, whatever the scouting report was on him that the Ranger hitters had, he's doing something not entirely different, but different enough to throw them off to where he's, you know, their line of thinking, their line of preparation wasn't ready for what they're seeing.
I think the biggest thing he's doing is is throwing strikes. You know, a guy with 24 walks in 32 innings, he's just nailing the strike zone one right after the other now.
He drops a slow curve in, and it's 2-2 now to Choo.
He's thrown a pitch 95, but most of them are 91 and 92. He's on a pretty nice roll right now.
Rolling in, and the count goes full to Choo. Now with one out, Shin-Soo trying to get aboard Elvis Andrus, who doubled his first time up. He's waiting to be next. Brad Peacock, the 26-year-old right-hander, studies the signs. And now the payoff pitch on the way. Hard hit through the shortstop hole into left field. And Shin-Soo Choo has a base hit with one out here in the third inning.
Well, Choo is even on the night as far as the shift goes. He hit a ball the first time up, solidly up the middle, that was turned into an out. This time he goes the other way with a pitch down and away and hits it sharply right at the shortstop hole, and it goes into left field. So without the shift, he's 1 for 2. With the shift, he's 1 for 2.
Shin-Soo now a 4-game hitting streak. And here's Elvis, who extended his hitting streak to 9 straight back in the first inning.
He got one of the few hangers that Peacock has thrown early in the game.
Yeah, and Elvis was ready for that one.
He was. He hit it hard.
And he drops a breaking ball that's just a bit low for ball one. Andrus now with that first inning double, hitting at 262 for the year. Nice to see Elvis on the upswing. Had that big 4-hit night that really got him going his first game back in the number 2 spot in the order. There goes Choo. The pitch is grounded toward the shortstop hole, but Villar did a good job of recovering and is able to throw out Elvis for the second out.
Hey, he hit it to the right spot. Villar, the shortstop, was covering, but he didn't break too early, and he was able to put the brakes on. The ball wasn't hit that hard. Almost a ball into left field for first and third, but not quite. Choo got a pretty good jump on that hit.
Sure did. Choo now in scoring position. Second time the Rangers have had a runner in scoring position tonight. Adrian Beltre, a ground ball to short, his first time up. And again, the Astros putting the shift on around to the left side for Beltre. Peacock a check of second, and the pitch low and away for ball one. Some of the defenses like to Choo and Beltre. I can remember too many balls that have been hit in the vacated spots in this defense to really have a lot of faith in it. But maybe that's what the numbers say. Going outside 2-0. But I know Beltre, especially in a run-producing situation, he's very willing to hit the ball to the right side. And there's only one player on the right side of the infield. That's Mark Krause, the first baseman. 2-0 the count.
You questioning their information scientist?
No, I'm just questioning how it's been applied.
Oh.
That ball's hammered to left field. There is nobody there except the paid attendants. Goodbye. Adrian Beltre, foiling the shift, hits his 3rd home run of the year, and the Rangers lead 2-0.
Well, we talked about the hanger that Elvis hit. One of the only pitches that is hung early in the game for Peacock. Well, it looked like that one hung to Adrian's liking anyway. That ball didn't take long at all to get into those short seats in left field. That was a shot. Let's take a look at the pitch. Hello. Center of plate, a little bit on the inside center. That one had home run written all over it.
Yeah. That was screaming. Screaming. Hit me on the way in and ouch on the way out. Well, 2-0 Rangers, and Prince Fielder chops that first pitch foul. It is 0-1. I ever tell you I hate that sound?
That sound, you hear a lot of line drives, but that sound was better than most of them.
Yeah.
That was a firecracker going off right there, or maybe an M80.
Slow chopper to the right side. Krause almost makes Peacock do the splits over there, and that'll take care of the Rangers in the 3rd. But Adrian Beltre with his 3rd home run of the year, a 2-run blast, and after 2.5, the Rangers on top, 2-0.
As we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Colby Lewis with the 3rd lowest ERA among active pitchers here in this ballpark in Houston. So a good start tonight was expected. What isn't, according to his pitching coach, is that he's here at all.
I guess the unexpected moment would be to see Colby back, you know, as things you always rooted for and hoped for, but in reality, has anybody ever done what he's done? And he's the first one, so, you know, he is the guy that's going to set the tone for everybody else who has this procedure. And the better he does, I think the more confidence people would have if anybody else needs to have that procedure.
So Buzz and Tom, really any start he makes from here on out in his career is historic. And if he continues to pitch like this, his ERA in this ballpark will be as well. Mike Maddox also went on to say that when you are so comfortable in a building, it just breeds confidence, and confidence, of course, breeds success. He also talked about how teams may change from year to year, but the way you feel in a ballpark certainly does not. Buzz?
Thanks, Dana. Yeah, good points. That's very true, whether you're a pitcher or a position player. Some places are just more comfortable for you. Pitch inside. Jonathan Villar leading off the bottom of the 3rd inning. 2-2 the count. Villar, the number 9 hitter, 233 the average. Lewis back to him. Just missed with a breaking ball. That fills the count. So Villar trying to get aboard. Take the Astros back to the top of the order for Jose Altuve. Colby with the payoff pitch. And we'll come back and try it again.
Well, Villar's got some potential. He's a good base stealer. He's 9 out of 10 stealing bases. Been swinging the bat well over his last 50 or 60 at bats. He's hit 5 home runs this year, batting ninth. Playing a premium position. This guy's got a chance to be a pretty good player.
And another foul ball. Well, Villar making it tough on Colby Lewis, starting things off. Now the Astros have another young man in the minor league system we saw in San Antonio in the games down there. That pitch low and in. That's ball 4 all the way to the backstop. Now Carlos Correa is probably their #1 prospect. He's a shortstop, so it'll be interesting to see what happens when they feel he's ready for the big leagues. So Villar draws the leadoff walk. First free pass issued by Colby tonight. 1 on, nobody out for Jose Altuve.
Well, the one good thing that'll do, Buzz, is if Villar continues to improve and he's playing solidly at the big league level, they won't be tempted to rush Correa to the big leagues. They can let him take a stop and make sure he's ready when he does get here to play.
And that's a good point. That's a great position to be in as an organization, I would think.
Yeah.
Here's Altuve, who singled his first time up there. The toss drives Villar back to first.
You see so many young players get rushed to the big leagues, have a couple of mediocre seasons, then one good season, and all of a sudden their arbitration number is big and they become a free agent. 2 of the 6 years are kind of mediocre years. You really don't get much bang for your buck over the 6 years.
Strike 1 to Altuve. Yeah, and how many young guys have you seen kind of rush to the big leagues that burned out because they got mentally beaten down so quickly?
Yeah, I guess that can happen too.
0-1 pitch. Low and outside. Snap throw to first. This gets away from fielder, but not far enough for Villar to consider going to second. A ball and a strike is the count to Altuve. With Villar at first, brings to mind the stolen bases in the American League. Houston tied for second. You get a look at that pickoff attempt. Houston is a team 30 stolen bases. The Rangers leading the American League with 32. 1-1 the count. Hit well to center field. Moving to his right though. Leonis Martin tracks it down. Back to first is Villar. That's out number 1. Oh, big out in Altuve, and now Dexter Fowler will come up. Fowler tripled in the first with 1 out. Ended up being stranded at third. A good job of pitching by Colby Lewis to get around that triple. So Fowler up there now with Villar at first and 1 out here in the 3rd inning. So Fowler now a .244 hitter. Just off the outside corner. 1 ball, no strikes. Batting in the second spot has become very comfortable for Dexter Fowler. 17 of the 20 games that he has hit in the number 2 spot. He has reached base with a hit. There's a quick throw to first. Villar almost got picked off with his wheels spinning trying to get back. As a switch hitter, Fowler much better average-wise from the right side. He's some 45 points better as a right-handed hitter. Another toss to first. But like most switch hitters, Fowler gets many more at-bats from the left side. Came into the game hitting .227 as a left-handed hitter. 1-0 the count as Colby sets. Misses outside, 2-0. It was that slide step again with Colby, and I know he works on it, I know it, but he just doesn't look like he really trusts that to throw a good pitch with it. He's set again, 2-0. There goes the runner, VR from first. The throw to second, not in time. VR able to slide in under the tag of Andrews that time.
Well, if he's going on first move, he picked the right pitch to go on, because that wasn't the slide step. That had a little bit of a leg kick. Another strong throw by Robinson.
Yep.
VR a little bit too quick. He just beat the throw. Got rid of it quickly, threw it accurately. Pretty close play, but VR now 10 out of 11 stealing bases.
So VR in scoring position. The count's 3 balls and no strikes to Fowler. Colby will check second a couple of times and misses inside, ball 4. That puts 2 aboard for Jason Castro. MLB.TV Premium, it's the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers and watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Just visit TexasRangers.com for more details. Well, a pair of walks in the inning, and Astros have 2 on, 1 out. Jason Castro, who struck out with Fowler at third in the first, will step in. Colby got ahead of Castro, then buried a slider right down at his shoe tops for the strikeout. Colby peering in for the sign. The right-hander's ready. And the first pitch is low and inside for ball 1. Our steel tracker says one could have been called a strike. It wasn't. 1-0 pitch. Now 2-0.
Kobe's thrown 53 pitches, 29 strikes, 24 balls. Not really hitting his spots like he normally would.
VR at second. Dexter Fowler at first. A great speed aboard for the Astros. 2-0 the count to Jason Castro, their #3 hitter. And a strike at the knees. Castro, as you just saw on the graphic, the 11 RBI in his last 16 ball games. I mentioned he is the team leader for the Astros. Again, our steel pitch tracker. Right at the corner, at the knees. And that pitch called a strike.
Well, that's going to be right at the bottom of the strike zone, right on the corner.
2-2 now.
It's one of those ones that just touching the outside corner.
The logic would tell you if 4 is a strike and 3 is a strike, what happened to 1?
Hey, you'll take 2 out of 3 down there. But I would try to throw the same pitch again. See if you make it 3 out of 4.
Tried to run it in on his fist. Good fastball, and Castro able to foul it off.
Yeah, he got it in on his fist. It hit the bad part of the bat. Last time up, he got Castro to chase a hard breaking ball down and in. And he's thrown.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say he's thrown him a couple of pitches away.
Yep.
Then he busted him in with a fastball. So he might try that same pitch he struck him out with.
Yeah, it was on a 2-2 pitch before.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, this would be, if you were going to throw it, the ideal time to throw it. Got it in, and Moreland toward the line and in. Mitch is there to make the catch. And Colby got that ball in enough that Castro couldn't do much but fight it off.
Yeah, there's a case of Colby hitting his spot right there. Last 2 fastballs were pinpointed right where he wanted them, right on the inside corner. He fouled one off the fist, and that one he fouled off the fist.
So a big fly out for out number 2. Runners still at first and second. Matt Dominguez now will come to the plate. And Dominguez scorched a one-hopper that Elvis Andrus flagged down for the final out of the first inning. As we mentioned, Dominguez swinging the bat as well as any Astro at the moment. A 6-game hitting streak. On that just completed road trip we were talking about, he had 321 with a home run and 3 RBI. Colby's first pitch to him, a fastball that hits the outside corner. 0-1.
That's all hat, no cattle right there, boy.
Oh, 1 pitch. Runners going. The throw is going through to second.
Hello.
And the tag, he's out. Dexter Fowler on the back end is shot down by Robinson Chirinos. And that'll do it for the Astros. They get 2 walks in the inning, but strand 1. And we're going to the 4th. It remains the Rangers 2 and the Astros nothing, courtesy of Robinson Chirinos. Show you our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the evening. How about Robinson Chirinos? Twice tonight. He has gunned down Astros at second base, the latest, with Dexter Fowler to end the 3rd inning. And that freaky fast delivery by Robinson Chirinos, courtesy of Jimmy John.
Yeah, there's not a lot of catchers in the league throwing better than Robinson is right now. He's gunned those 2 down. Villar stole second, but it wasn't the fault of the catcher. Robinson made a great throw on that one, too. He just beat the throw by the jump that he got.
Alex Rios' first ball swinging, fouls it back and out of play. It is 0-1. Rios struck out to end the Ranger first this evening. Rangers 2 runs on 3 hits. Astros no runs on 3 hits. Brad Peacock back to the plate, missed low and away. 1-1 to Rios. Alex, in 22 career games against the Astros, has hit for a .291 average. The pitch fouled away to the right. This, of course, the team against which Alex Rios had his cycle back last September. That was in Globe Life Park. Down to the count here, a ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. Castro with the signs, and Peacock agrees on one. Breaking ball popped up. Coming back is Castro. That ball is just out of his reach, about 2 rows back. And we'll come back and try it again. So Brad Peacock back out to the hill. Peacock has struck out 5. In fact, he struck out 5 in a row at one point. That was before the Shin-Soo Choo single with 1 out in the 3rd, and 1 out later, Adrian Beltre with his 3rd home run of the year, and that has been the difference in the game thus far. Got him swinging.
Good fastball.
Strikeout number 6. He's got Rios twice now, 1 away, and Moreland coming out.
He's pitching a nice ball game with 6 strikeouts. This is a 93-mile-an-hour fastball that he locates away and throws it right by Alex. A couple of pitches that he'd like to have back. One didn't matter, the hanger that Elvis doubled on in the 1st, but I'd like to have that one to Adrian back that took about 1.5 seconds to get out of here.
Moreland cues one to short, and it's going through to left field.
That thing's still spinning.
Yep. Well, Moreland crossing up the overshift. 2nd time tonight that a Ranger has done that. Shin-Soo Choo did that his last time up.
Watch that thing spin. He hit right off the end of the bat. And for guys like Fielder and Moreland, you don't feel guilty at all when you get one like that, because you've hit some hard hit balls right into the ship that have been turned into out. So you feel like you've got them coming.
So Mitch at first, his first base hit of the night. Leonis Martin steps in, having struck out. Rip on the fastball and a miss. 0-1. Leonis at 282.
Peacock had a couple of starts against the Rangers last year. One in August, one in September. Both of them were 6 innings. One was 3 hits and 1 run. One was 6 hits and 3 runs, but struck out a batter per inning. Excuse me, in those 2 starts.
Good low fastball, and Leonis not able to make contact. Was out thinking about things. We'll get back in against Brad Peacock. Peacock last year, his first year with the Astros, started the season as the number 4 starter, but then he eventually went down to the bullpen, and then furthermore was sent out to AAA. Ball in the dirt. It's 1-2. Moreland staying in first. Peacock last year was 5-6 in 14 starts with the Astros, 18 appearances overall. He went down to Oklahoma City where he was 6-2 with a 273. So got himself back on the right track down at AAA. The 1-2 pitch coming. Got him swinging. Big breaking ball. And that is strikeout number 7. 2 outs. Robinson Chirinos coming up.
Went ahead with a couple of fastballs and finished the job with a good overhand curveball. Straight downward action to that breaking ball.
Well, Brad Peacock now a season high 7 strikeouts in just 3 2/3 innings. Chirinos, one of those strikeout victims. He got caught looking at a 3rd strike in the 2nd. Moreland a modest lead from first. 1 ball, no strikes. Budweiser pitching line for Brad Peacock tonight. 3 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs. 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, a season high for the 26-year-old right-hander. One and 1. That walk that Peacock issued back in the 1st inning to Prince Fielder. And other than that, he has not issued a free pass. He's been getting ahead of most Ranger hitters. It's in the dirt. 2-1 now. Mitch Moreland, a 1-out single, still stationed at first base. And Robinson Chirinos, who's making his 22nd start of the year behind the plate. trying to advance Mitch and get the Rangers closer to being on the scoreboard again. The 2-1. Now 3 balls and a strike. So Chirinos trying to keep the inning going. If he is able to get aboard, Rougned Odor waiting to be next. Peacock okays the sign and sets. Way inside, ball 4. 2 aboard. There's the second walk for Peacock. And now Odor gets a chance to drive in his first major league run.
I think you'd have to say, based on the statistics coming into this game, Peacock has had much better command today than he has during the season prior to this, with coming in 24 walks and 32 innings. The other walk that he had was Fielder, and it looked like he was pitching around Fielder. That's really the first one where he lost the hitter that he was, I'm sure, trying to get.
Odor getting out of that wide open stance. Goes up the middle into center field, a base hit. Moreland around third. He will score. Dexter Fowler overrunning the ball. So Odor goes into second. And there is the first RBI for Rougned Odor. 3-0 Ranger lead. Nice going, young man.
Now he hit a breaking ball up the middle for that base hit. Let's take a look at it. Ball's away from him, but it stayed up. He's able to get the bat on it. Altuve dives for this ball and looked like he hurt something. The trainer and the manager are out there talking to him right now. Odor took second on the, I'm sure, error by Fowler in center field. I guess Altuve would be the last guy on their team that they would want to see injured. He's kind of a spark plug leading off their offense. Take a look at it right here. Here comes the dive. And he immediately came up holding something.
Looked like his left hand or wrist, his glove hand, might have jammed that wrist as he dove. Kind of a needless dive, and
yeah, he wasn't going to get it.
No.
He's just trying to somehow knock that ball down and keep Moreland from scoring. So the walk to Chirinos turns out to be a big play in the inning and put Moreland in scoring position and set up the RBI for Rougned.
Well, Bo Porter and the team trainer out there to make sure that Altuve is okay, and he assured him that he was going to be all right. But Rougned Odor, with his first major league RBI, has put the Rangers on top 3-0. And he went into second on the error charged to Dexter Fowler out there in center field. With Chirinos now at third, back to the top of the Ranger order for Shin-Soo Choo. Choo shot a base hit through the hole on the left side. The overshift created a large hole right at the shortstop position, and Choo was able to line one through there last time up. Same hole exists this time. And he takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Dominguez, the third baseman, because there's a runner at third, not able to play more toward the shortstop hole. He's still a good 30 feet, 25 to 30 feet off that third baseline. But that creates a pretty good size hole with VR playing up the middle. Foul to the screen. It's 0-2. So Choo 1 for 2 tonight. That batting average at .336. He came into play tonight tied with Alexei Ramirez of the White Sox and Melky Cabrera of the Blue Jays for the league lead with that .333 average. Fastball is high, and the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. Choo still second in all of baseball with the on-base percentage. Came in at .465. It's gone up a bit with his base hit. Still trailing Troy Tulowitzki, who I think finally made an out the other night. I'm not sure. I won't swear to it.
I think his average is below 400 anyway.
Wow. Check swing. That pitch in the dirt. It's 2-2. Speaking of the Rockies, you see the pictures of Coors Field?
No.
Snow covered.
Oh, I heard they had snow
6
there.
inches of snow.
Wow.
That could have happened last week, and the Rangers might have avoided playing them when they were so hot.
Yeah, as bad as making up games is like that late in the season, that would have been better than what we saw there for 2 days.
You are kidding. Peacock still working from the stretch now. Runners at second and third. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. A run across here in the Ranger 4th inning. Chu back in the box. Castro flashing out the signs. And Brad Peacock picks out one he wants. Breaking ball, that's hit well to center field. Fowler on the run and runs it down. He was playing in left center. That was over toward right center, but good speed and a good break, and that'll do it. Rangers get a run on a couple of hits in Strand 2 after 3.5. Rangers 3, Astros nothing. Fox Sports Southwest. Hometown Kids. It's on every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Southwest, where it's not about the score, it's about the experience. The crowd dancing in the aisles at Minute Maid tonight. Rangers on top 3-0. Colby Lewis back to the hill. He will work to the middle third of the Astro order here in the 4th inning. Dominguez, Krause, and Springer. Matt Dominguez was left standing at home plate when Dexter Fowler was caught on the back end of a double steal attempt. Shot down at second base by Robinson Chirinos to end the 3rd.
Big play by Robinson. You got their hottest hitter up if he's safe at second and 3rd in a 2-run game with their 4th place hitter up there. So they took a gamble trying to get a couple of men into scoring position. The man on second had a big lead and a big jump. There's nothing Robinson could do, but he gunned the second guy down and got out of the inning.
Colby, a fastball for a strike right on the outside corner. That 6-game hitting streak we told you about for Dominguez. A .360 average, a home run, and 3 RBI over those 6 games. 1-2 pitch. Got him on the fish, popped it up. Rich Fielder into foul territory and makes the catch. That is out number 1. A good pitch by Colby. He jammed Dominguez pretty well.
Yeah, there was a stretch of hitters where Colby was struggling to hit his spots, but starting to come around for him now. The last couple of hitters, he's made some good pitches on him.
That'll bring up the first baseman, Mark Krause. Well, Colby at 63 pitches as he works here with 1 out in the 4th inning. Krause went down swinging the first time that these two hooked it up. Krause, a modest 3-game hitting streak, and he goes out for the first pitch, and he lines it to right field for a base hit. Rios plays it on a hop back in, and Krause now has a 4-game hitting streak going. A 1-out single here in the 4th inning.
Well, there's one that wasn't quite as far outside as Colby wanted it. Down in the strike zone, but nice swing by Krause.
No, Krause at first. George Springer, who saw a couple of pretty good sliders from Colby Lewis the first time up, went down swinging. Up there now with Krause at first. First pitch slider, 0-1. And that was pretty much the middle of the plate.
That's one you better hit, because I don't think you're going to see that one again.
A highly touted rookie at .213 with the average. That one a little closer to where Colby wanted it. 1 ball, 1 strike. George Springer coming off a series against the Orioles in Baltimore. We went just 2 for 13. And on the back end of that, he is 0 for his last 8 times to the plate. Colby, a belt high set. The 1-1 pitch. They're able to lay off that one. 2-1. Robinson Chirinos flashing the signs out. He wants that fastball away. Check swing. It's a strike, and Springer was caught up looking for the slider.
Yeah, pretty aware of that pitch after the first at bat and a couple of these pitches. I guess the pitch a little bit up in the strike zone and tried to hold his swing. Probably would have been a strike anyway, though. Now what's he going to get? That's what he's wondering.
Yeah. You got a couple choices.
Glad we don't have to worry about that.
2-2, got him swinging. A slider that stayed up, but no contact. And that's the second time that Springer has gone down swinging.
Yeah, swinging for the fences. Didn't matter what part of the strike zone, but watch his head. His head's looking out toward left field, and he misses 2 pitches right down the middle of the plate. Don't see too many guys coming up from the minor leagues with any type of a 2-stroke approach. That looked like a 3-0 pitch he was swinging at.
So 2 outs. Here's Chris Carter, who doubled right down the third base line his first time up. And he gets jammed and pops it straight up in the air behind home plate, but that's going to go over the screen. We're back in the seats. There's 0-1.
Take another look at that breaking ball and watch Springer. He's trying to hit that ball through the glass above the wall in left field. Actually had a great pitch to hit. Just kind of overswung at it, it looked like.
0-1 now, the count to Chris Carter. And he fouls another pitch off. Well, here's a guy who won't take a call third strike very often. He's up there hacking. He'll swing it afield, but he won't take many. Average at 172 for Carter. Guy that the Astros have pretty much installed now as their DH full time.
Well, he hit 27 or 29 home runs last year, so he's got some power potential if he can make some contact and get his average up a little bit.
And not the kind of guy you can make a mistake out over the plate to, because he'll hit it as far as anybody.
Yeah, he can. And he's in the right place. An organization that's not going to win, that's patient enough to give him the at-bats. A's called him up, but he was in a position where he needed to get hot to stay in the lineup, and he didn't do it.
Check swing on the high fastball. No swing. Appeal down to David Rackley, the first base umpire. Nope. So the count is even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 on, 2 out. Astros batting in the bottom of the 4th inning. Chris Carter facing Colby Lewis. Rangers shifted around to the left in the infield for Carter. Got him swinging. Couldn't lay off the last slider, and he has gone on strikes. Lewis now with half a dozen strikeouts. No runs a hit, 1 left after 4. 3-0 Rangers. Southwest Airlines to send you on a VIP flyaway experience with your home team in LA. Text VIP to 638761 for your chance to be treated with VIP status. Never know, you might get that trip out to LA with the Rangers. Ranger fans enjoying a 3-0 Ranger lead as they come to bat here in the top of the 5th inning. It'll be Andres Beltre and Fielder to face Brad Peacock. Elvis, a double and a ground ball to short. 1 out of 2 tonight, and hitting at an even 260. 1-0. Elvis, a home run, 9 driven in. Takes a strike. Elvis on that homestand went 9 for 19. Scored 3 runs, drove in 1. Also had a walk and a hit by pitch. Got him on the fist, and a 1-hopper scooted out to Altuve. 1 gone. Well, as Adrian Beltre comes to plate, let's take a look at the AT&T Uverse Rewind. And last time up, Adrian just hit a rope. That thing out in the Crawford boxes in deepest left center field. And for Beltre, his 3rd home run of the year. That got the Rangers going.
That was pretty much the perfect home run pitch. 82-mile-an-hour slider that didn't slide.
Yeah, those tend to leave the ballpark pretty consistently. Especially when you put him against a hitter like Beltre.
Yeah.
So Adrian, a dozen RBI this year. He takes outside and low. That home run snapped an 0 for 11 that Adrian was mired in. It was also his 101st home run in a Ranger uniform. And he grounds it through the shift. That's a base hit for Beltre.
You can't have someone covering every inch of territory out there. If you hit one pretty hard right between them, it doesn't matter whether they've got a shift down or not. There's still some holes out there.
So Beltre aboard, the Rangers now with half a dozen hits in their 4 1/3 innings against Brad Peacock. Prince Fielder 0 for 1, a walk and a little topper down to first base. Shift on for the Astros. A strike on the inside corner. Third baseman Matt Dominguez playing right where the normal shortstop would play. And you have VR and Altuve joining Mark Krause on the right side of the infield. 0-1 pitch. If he made contact there, that ball would have gone to the left side. It
looked like it.
Yeah. And it would have been hard too. Right on that.
Well, that little short porch out there in left field is not a bad thing for a left-hand hitter to shoot at. All you do is slice one to left field and get it up in the air a little bit. It's not quite like the Green Monster, but
into left center field, dropping in a hurry. That's down for a base hit. Presley into play on a soft hop, and Beltre to second. Prince Fielder at first. Back-to-back singles, and 2 aboard for Alex Rios.
There's probably a number of balls that go into those seats that wouldn't go into the home run territory at Fenway Park because the Green Monster is so much higher than that. It's a little bit deeper than the Green Monster, but not as high.
Yeah, you get some line drives that head into the Crawford boxes out there that'll be clanging off the Green Monster.
Be singles in Boston.
Right. So 2 on, 1 out. Alex Rios has struck out both times that he has faced Brad Peacock tonight. The right-hander, a long look back at second. And the pitch, a fastball for strike 1. Rios with a 4-game hitting streak coming into play here tonight. last 4 games, he was 6 for 13. Back in the batter's box and tapping home plate. Beltre the lead from second. And the 0-1 pitch coming to Rios. In the dirt. Nice block by Castro.
Job by Castro. That one was way outside and low. Shifted his weight, blocked it, kept it in front of him. Saw a couple of catchers sitting in the stands earlier tonight that made a pretty good living doing that. Pudge Rodriguez and Jim Sunbird.
Fouled out of play to the right. And the count goes to 1-2. Alex has had that kind of puzzled look on his face, or maybe a little anguish in his face. I'm not sure which it was.
Yeah, his timing's not quite there tonight. He's seen some pretty good pitches to hit. He's kind of caught in between the breaking ball and the fastball tonight.
Peacock with the letter high set. 1-2 pitch. A little looper in foul territory. That's going to reach the second row of seats over the Astros dugout. And it's still 1-2. Back over the last almost a month of play, the last 23 games, Rios has hit .341. Came in tonight 8th in the American League with that .315 average. Got him swinging. Third time tonight that Peacock has gotten Rios on strikes. 8 punch outs for Peacock.
He ran the fastball away from him a little bit off the plate, got him to chase it. Mitch is due to launch. Well, this is a great part for a left-hand hitter to hit his best blast, because you can really see how far it goes here. There's nothing to stop it. There's no doubt. You got that huge picture of yourself up on the scoreboard to go for.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can quite get one that far, but Mitch could come close. He could get one over the seats up there.
Marlin 1 for 2. Tried to hit another cue shot and fouled it off.
He'll take that with a man on second.
Sure.
There's that scoreboard out there. I don't know if he could quite hit himself with a ball, but he could hit it probably between the seats and the bottom of the scoreboard if he hit his best blast. That one he hit in Tampa Bay. I think that one would have done it.
Sometimes guys come out for early batting practice and try to tee off and hit that thing. 0-1 the count. Another breaking ball, and it's 0-2. Peacock going with a slow hook to Morley. Peacock gave up back-to-back singles to Beltre and Fielder with 1 out. And 1 out later, they are still at second and first. Mitch asked for time. Back out and rethink the whole thing. Mitch at .306 with a batting average. Has 13 RBI. He's looking for more. He's got a couple of teammates on the bags. Just able to get a piece of that slow hook. Third one in a row that he has seen in this at bat. We saw yesterday, Mitch saw a lot of off-speed pitches, and Lackey tried to sneak a fastball by him away, and Mitch said no, doubled to left field.
Yeah, sometimes pitcher just can't leave well enough alone.
Yep.
You got something working, he's just say, well, I got to try something else just to make him honest, and whap.
Yep.
See if maybe Peacock will do the same thing right here.
Yeah, instead of outsmarting yourself, you're outdumbing yourself.
Yeah.
Fastball that time got him. Yeah, changeup. Mitch is gone. The Rangers are gone. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We're halfway through the ball game. The Rangers 3, the Astros nothing. On Thursday, and then the only games at home for the entire month of May coming up on Friday, Saturday, Sunday against Toronto, and then Tuesday and Wednesday against Seattle. Then it's on the road to Detroit, Minnesota, and Washington. The longest road trip of the year, 11 games against those 3 clubs. A 3-0 Ranger lead as Colby Lewis heads back to the mound, and Alex Presley trying to bunt his way aboard. Fouls it off. It is 0-1.
He would have had a hard time no matter what kind of a bunt he laid down, because Adrian was playing in and he was breaking in. I don't know that he could have gotten a bunt down that Adrian wouldn't have been able to throw him out on. He gets down the line pretty well, Presley.
Not sure you can beat the ball, though, in Adrian's.
I don't think so. Presley's another guy getting a pretty good opportunity to get some playing time. Wasn't going to get that in Minnesota. But he's played 28 games, zeroing in on 100 at bats.
Down on the count here, no balls and 2 strikes. Speaking of Minnesota, Rangers will see them on the next road trip. They're playing pretty well.
They are.
17-19.
Scoring a lot of runs.
Yeah. 0-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Good hard breaking ball down and in. And that is strikeout number 7. 1 away. VR coming up. Let's head back for a Mazda game break with John Radigan. John. All right, John, thank you. Well, the Angels had leapfrogged past the Rangers in the standings. Rangers trying to get back at least even with them. Leading here, and Jonathan Villar takes an off-speed pitch for strike 1. Villar drew a walk in the 3rd inning. The only 2 walks that Colby Lewis has issued came in that frame. Villar and Dexter Fowler. Breaking ball, low and in. A ball and a strike.
You know, talking about statistics, league statistics, and when we play Minnesota, they've got a player that doesn't really come to mind right off the bat when you think of Minnesota. You might think of Joe Mauer or some of their other players, but Dozier, one of their infielders, leads the league in runs, 3rd in walks with 28, tied for 4th with 9 home runs, and 2nd with 12 stolen bases. He's having a pretty good year, combining speed and power and patience at the plate.
guy that we saw last year and a little bit the year before, and you know, he didn't really impress you as that kind of an all-around player, but
never even thought about him.
Having a heck of a year. Pitch outside. Villar taking it, and the count is now full. So Villar trying to get aboard for the second straight time. Jose Altuve in the top of the order waits. Colby with a payoff pitch. It's fouled out of play. And Colby's line this evening, 4 1/3. Shutout ball thus far on 4 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. That's a season high for Colby Lewis.
For Colby's last 3 starts in this ballpark, he's 3-0 with a 1.20 ERA.
And make that 8 as a season high as Jonathan Villar caught looking. And Brian Gorman rang him up.
Well, it wasn't exactly where he had the glove, but it's definitely a strike on the inside corner of the plate. Villar didn't like the call, but when he goes back and looks at it, you'll see the ball was definitely halfway into the rectangle.
So 2 gone. Colby now has struck out 4 consecutive hitters. Here's Altuve, who is 1 for 2, and he shoots one up the middle, not hit very hard, but finds his way into center field for a 2-out single. The ball is kind of squirted off his bat, but found empty space up the middle of the diamond.
He ran the fastball right in on his fist and jammed him. Big swing by Altuve. He's kind of muscled it into center field.
I like your analogy, the poor man's Dustin Pedroia. That's exactly who he reminds me of.
Yeah, he does a lot of similar things. Might not quite hit the same amount of home runs. Pedroia's hit 20 home runs, but he's a good base stealer. Mentioned he hadn't made an error in 73 games, so he shares the defensive ability that makes Pedroia such a good all-around player. And he's a good base stealer. Might be a better base stealer than Pedroia.
And he may not hit the home runs, but he swings just as hard. he takes a rip.
Pedroia might be bigger than he is.
I think he is. 1-0 pitch. Fowler a check swing, and it's off the outside corner. Field down to third, and Bill Welke said, nope, no swing, 2-0. Fowler a triple and a walk tonight.
Altuve is one of those guys that would stand out even more on a really good team. You know, you could kind of really appreciate what he's doing for the offense, getting on base without much behind him. I think he probably goes a little bit underappreciated here in Houston. They're having a hard time scoring runs no matter what he does at the top of the lineup.
And because he's really a good hitter, they move him all over the place. He was batting cleanup for him for a while.
At the beginning of the year, he was.
And, you know, they've had him hitting third, second, even fifth, if I remember right, last year at times.
Yeah, he had people asking, has there ever been a smaller cleanup hitter in baseball history? I don't have the slightest idea, but if there is, he wasn't a very big guy, that's for sure. If Altuve was bigger than he was. He doesn't play big. He doesn't play little, though.
No.
He plays big. That's all that matters. And a perfect example for all the kids out there. You don't have to be 6'2" and 190 pounds to be a good baseball player. And you can be an outstanding big league player.
Colby trying to work that slider that back down and into the back foot. Couldn't get Dexter Fowler to hack at it. So it runs the count full, and with 2 outs now, Altuve will be off and moving with the next pitch. Fowler trying to get aboard to join Altuve. Jason Castro waits in the on-deck circle. Colby just over the 90 pitch level now. This will be number 91. It's a payoff pitch, and it's on the way. Hard hit ball. Odor slides from his knees. He throws him out at first base. Outstanding play by Rougned Odor. Oh, no runs on a hit, 1 left. We have finished 5. Rangers leading 3-0 on Fox Sports Southwest. Tonight's jackpot is worth $400 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Jackie Eyrick from Sanger. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Jackie Eyrick from Sanger will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. It'll be the bottom third of the Ranger order to face Brad Peacock. Leonis Martin, Robinson Chirinos, and Rougned Odor. Martin has struck out both times that he's faced the Astros right-hander tonight. Peacock with 9 strikeouts through the first 5 innings. When he deals a strike, it's 0-1.
Yeah, Peacock's pitching a nice ball game tonight. Rangers have had 7 hits and 3 runs. 2 of them came on the hanging slider to Adrian Beltre. He's given most of the Ranger hitters fits tonight.
Sure has. Pretty good command. Couple of walks. The 9 strikeouts, 1 shy of his career high. Set that last year against Minnesota. Slap foul off to the left. Then the count remains. No balls, 2 strikes. Rangers 3 runs on 7 hits. Astros no runs on 5 hits. Slow chopper down the first base line, and Benji Molina. Once you got good hands, you never lose them. A fan out of a young lady right there in the front row. There you go. Another 0-2 pitch is on the way. Just a little bit high. 94 pitches total. A pretty good percentage of strikes. 65, only 29 balls. Broken bat, looper out into center, going out BR. There's a bead drawn on it, takes the catch for out number 1. At bat cost Leonis. Well, 1 away. And Robinson Chirinos, who has struck out and walked. A little step to the plate. Chirinos, a walk in the 4th inning, got as far as third base and was stranded there. The Rangers had pushed across a run on the RBI single by Odor. 216 the average for Chirinos. 1-0 pitch. He ripped that foul. Behind Gary Pettis down that third base side. 1-1. Mentioned Robinson starting his 22nd game. In the first 21 games, team had a 12-9 record with him as the catcher. A ball and 2 strikes.
But he's thrown a lot of fastballs by Ranger hitters tonight, and a lot of fastballs that they haven't swung at that they've taken for strikes too. He must be sneaky fast, tough to pick up.
Breaking ball. Did he go around? Yes, he did. And that's tying the career high now for Brad Peacock with his 10th strikeout.
Well, I didn't think he swung when I saw it the first time, but you watch it in slow motion from the side and tip your hat to David Rackley, the first base umpire. He saw it.
And he did. Brad Peacock with 10 strikeouts. Last time he did that was last August the 4th against the Minnesota Twins. So here's Odor. Singled home his first Major League RBI last time up. And he pounds one. Deep to right field. There it goes. Upper deck Odor. His first Major League home run. It is 4-0. And that ball hasn't come down yet.
Well, a little second baseman went up there and said, "You're not going to throw a first pitch fastball by me. I'm going to hit it into the second deck on you." There's a few bigger guys on the bench that are a little bit envious of that shot. Wow. He follows up an RBI single in the 4th inning with a long home run. I think he might have surprised a few guys. Haven't seen him hit one like that.
And Jackie Irick from Sanger appreciates that home run to the tune of $400 in our Sonic Slam inning. How about that?
He jumped on that fastball. He didn't miss this one, and he didn't take this one. He was ready for it, boy. He swung that like Pedroia and Altuve. Little guy with a big swing. Big results, too. Watch this swing. Boom. Quick bat, boy. He's put his head down. He doesn't know where it's going, but he knows it's going over the fence.
He's done that a few times. He knew that was out when he touched it off.
Oh, that was beautiful.
And the pitch is low to Shin-Soo Choo. Rougned Odor, his first Major League RBI in the 4th, his first Major League home run in the 6th. We found another guy that likes Houston.
I don't think he's hit many balls farther than that before.
Probably not.
That looked like it maxed out. Perfect swing, perfect pitch to hit. Made the contact right at the right point, right trajectory. That was well over 400 feet, probably about 425, maybe 430.
Well, if that's maxing out, that's a pretty good place to max out.
Pretty good poke.
And 3-2 now to Choo.
Let's try to guess the speed off the bat. That's got to be 104. Let's see.
Wow, good.
103.6. That's pretty good.
Touchback.
The magic is back.
Payoff pitch got him swinging. There's a new career high of strikeouts, but in the same inning, the Peacock sets that. Rougned Odor goes deep, and the Rangers add on. Will go to the bottom of the 6th inning now with Castro, Dominguez, and Krause. Odor makes it a 4-0 Ranger lead. Baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. A 4-0 lead, and 2 of the runs have come courtesy of that young man, 20-year-old Rougned Odor. First Major League RBI in a single, first Major League home run his last time up. Colby Lewis goes to work here in the 6th inning with Jason Castro at the plate. Castro 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly ball to left. 1-0 pitch. 2-0. Now Colby's gotten into the 6th inning in all but one of his starts, but he has not completed the 6th inning in any of them. And apparently somebody is getting that home run ball for Rougned. Folks with personnel arranging to have that ball given back to Rougned, so he'll have something for his trophy case.
Sure. I mean, a lot more to Rougned than it will to the guy that ended up with it.
I would imagine whoever ended up with that will get something nice in return.
Autograph bat.
Yeah.
Autograph hat. Autograph ball. Something like that.
3-1 pitch. Yanked foul. And the count is now full. Now Castro starting off the bottom of the 6th inning. He'll be followed by Matt Dominguez. Colby Lewis and the Rangers leading 4-0. Rangers scored 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and 1 in the 6th inning. Ground ball up the middle, but right there, Ellis Andrus in the overshift. That is out number 1, and with Matt Dominguez coming up, let's go down to the field. Once again, Dana Larson is standing by. Dana.
Buzz and Tom, as you guys, of course, recall, Alex Rios joined this team back in last August here in Houston at Minute Maid Park, and he was reminding himself about his first memory of joining this team today, and the strongest memory he had was about the incredible amount of energy and enthusiasm this ball club had, and he was so happy to be joining a team that was playing like that. I imagine that's one of the great challenges of a baseball season, maintaining that throughout the ebbs and flows of all of these months. But I will say, right now in that dugout, they have refound it. Maybe Rougned Odor, a big reason why. Also Houston, it seems like just coming here helps get that energy and enthusiasm back.
Yeah, I would think so, Dan. That's good points. And I think coming into a place where you've had recent success, and everybody has had pretty good success in this ballpark, that kind of feeds on itself.
Sure.
1-1 pitch. Dominguez fouls it off the screen. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Alex had been on some teams in Toronto and Chicago that really were never in contention, so it had to feel good to him to come to a ball club that was going to play well in September and have a chance to be a contender.
And you may never know it by just watching him or talking to him. He's kind of a laid-back guy, but Alex Rios is probably bubbling over with excitement to get that opportunity. Odor has that come up about stomach.
In his shirt.
And it's stuck in his pants.
Right in his shirt. It took one hop and went right in his shirt.
I thought he got it stuck under his belt. Oh, man, I've never seen that happen.
He used his chest to block the ball, and the ball spun right in his shirt. Went to throw it, and it wasn't there. Well, that's one you don't see every day. Did everything right. Took one for the team, blocked the ball. You know, now, if there's a guy going to second, I guess he could what? Hold on to the ball through his uniform and dive on top of him?
Yeah, yeah.
You've seen a time where the pitcher got one caught in the finger of his glove and tossed his glove to first
Somebody
base.
did that the other day, and I'm trying to remember who it was. Yeah, to the glove over there. And Krause, first ball swinging. It's one high in the air to left center. Moreland back in the alley to make the catch. And that is out number 2 with Dominguez staying at first. That's a base hit, by the way.
Yeah, you can't
Matt Dominguez.
couldn't give him an error on that. Uniform malfunction.
Moreland takes care of the fly ball 2 away. George Springer will come up for his 3rd at bat. Well, Colby now an opportunity to go into uncharted territory for him this year. Rougned Odor, well, he's having quite a night. Let's just put it that way.
Well, he's made a beautiful defensive play. In fact, he made that play to end the 5th inning with man on base.
Slider in the dirt. Springer laying off for ball 1.
Well, Colby can get one more out here in the 6th. Probably be his last inning. He's at 103 pitches, but it'll be a good step forward too.
Yeah.
Pitched another good ball game, and we'll have a shot at getting through 6 innings for the first time. Continues to pitch very well in this ballpark.
Springer has struck out both times that he's faced Colby tonight.
Well, first time up he swung at a slider about a foot outside. Last time up he swung from his heels at a hanging slider right down the middle of the plate. He's just having a hard time hitting no matter where it is tonight.
Nick Martinez, 23-year-old right-hander, is loose and ready in the Ranger bullpen if needed. 8 strikeouts tonight, most since 2012 against these Astros for Colby Lewis. Fastball just missed outside. 2-1. And our pitch tracker showing that pitch didn't miss by a lot for Colby. A check of first. And fouled away to the right.
Another very hittable one. Got a big swing. Let's see if he does connect, he can definitely generate some power.
Yeah.
He's trying to throw that down and away, and that's right near the center of the plate too. Big powerful swing, but he's gonna have to mix in a little more contact.
Well, a guy like that have to cut his swing down a little bit to accomplish it.
Looks like it to me.
Yeah. The 2-2. Tried the slider again, and he leaned on it that time. So the count has gone full to Springer. With 2 outs now, Dominguez will be off and moving with the next pitch. And if Springer keeps the inning going, Chris Carter, the DH, waits.
Well, there's been a lot of guys that take swings like that, but if you're going to play for a long time in the big leagues, you've got to hit some of the pitches he's missed tonight.
Payoff pitch, line drive, base hit to left field. Dominguez will stop at second, now go as the ball gets away from Moreland. And into third goes Dominguez, into second goes Springer. 2 on, 2 out for Chris Carter. It'll be a single and an error on Mitch Moreland to allow the runners to advance the extra 90 feet. And that's going to do it for Colby Lewis. Looks like Ron Washington is on his way out, and he has the hook with him. But Colby came close, came very close to getting through this 6th inning this time, and he'll have to leave after 5 2/3. He leaves not in danger of losing the game. He can either win it or have no decision. Has 2 runners aboard that are his responsibility. Rangers leading 4-0. Back to Minute Maid after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Before every slam, every goal, and every game with America's pregame. Weeknights at 5 p.m. only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Now, Colby Lewis finished after 5 2/3, 7 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, and he leaves with a couple of runners on base that are his responsibility. He gives way to Nick Martinez, the 23-year-old right-hander out of Hialeah, Florida.
Well, Nick has been very impressive in whatever role he's been asked to fill. He's had a couple of starts in which he's done very well, and a couple of impressive relief appearances. 19 innings, only 16 hits, a 229 earned run average, and confidence and poise on the mound.
And he misses outside to Carter. Chris Carter tonight has doubled and struck out. Nick Martinez out of Fordham University. He was a second baseman and a relief pitcher in college. 1-0 pitch off the end of the bat. And there's a pretty good play by the former second baseman onto the bag, and that will do it. So a couple of pitches, Martinez gets the final out. 2 stranded on a couple of hits. We're going to the 7th. Rangers 4, Astros nothing. The long ball, Adrian Beltre, a 2-run blast in the 3rd, his 3rd of the year. And then up comes Rougned Odor into the upper tank in right field, his first major league home run. And that has given the Rangers a 4-0 cushion with which to work in our 4-game summary. Showing the Rangers 4 runs on 8 hits, the Astros no runs on 7 hits. Odor 2 for 3 tonight. A lot of firsts for him, and Colby Lewis 5 2/3 once again. A season high 8 strikeouts of shutout baseball. And as we go to the 7th inning, Josh Zeid, the hard-throwing right-hander, is on to take over on the hill for Brad Peacock.
Well, Zeid will be pitching in his 5th ball game. The ERA is up there a little bit. 6 strikeouts in 4 2/3 though. What's plagued him has been the long ball. 2 home runs in those 4 2/3 and 4 games he's been in. You have to be pretty impressed with the bat speed that Odor. I mean, that was a violent swing, boy. Wouldn't think a guy his size could generate that kind of bat speed, but man, that was impressive.
That ball jumped out of here in a hurry.
It sure did.
Elvis Andrus leading things off. Elvis 1 for 3, and he takes high for ball 1. Odor kind of hiding from us at the moment. He's not camera shy. He just happens to be doing some things down there in the dugout. Up the middle of the yard. Nice play to get his counterpart. That is out number 1. It'll bring up Adrian Beltre. And folks, on Tuesday, May 20th, the Rangers play the division rival Seattle Mariners. And the first 15,000 fans 14 and older will receive an Adrian Beltre replica jersey from Smile Generation. This will be one of the best giveaways all season, so don't wait to get your tickets. They are available at TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS. Beltre 2 for 3. He let loose a pretty good swing and no contact.
Richard Price lurking in the shadows in the dugout. soak up some words of wisdom from the skipper.
There will be a few there you can soak up.
Actually, I think Richard's given Wash some baseball advice.
I think you're right.
Maybe what signs to use next inning.
Probably how to use the bullpen.
Yeah.
Who should be up next.
Wash is listening to him.
Yeah. And smiling. It's the one outside to Beltre. It's 2 balls and a strike. Beltre is 1 for 2 in his career against Josh Zeid. Won a single last year. Now the count evens at 2-2.
95 miles an hour with that heater.
Zeid's a 27-year-old. He has been around a bit, but he has always had a very good arm. Averaging better than a strikeout per inning and throughout his minor league career. And he gets a strikeout of Beltre here. Going after that pitch down and away. 2 gone. So that'll bring up Prince Fielder. Astros going to that dramatic overshift with everybody swinging around to the right side. It's about as close as you're ever going to see the third baseman playing to second base. Dominguez no more than about 6 steps on the third base side of second. It's like a softball alignment. 1-0 the count. Side ready to work. To right field, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Can't put people everywhere.
Nope.
Second hit of the night for Prince Fielder, a 2-out single. And it'll bring up Alex Rios.
He's kind of lobbed it over Altuve's head into right field in front of George Springer.
Well, Prince with his second hit of the night. Rangers now with 9 base hits total. Alex Rios has yet to join in the fun. He has struck out all 3 times. Those were at bats against Brad Peacock. Even as hard as Zeid throws, I would imagine Alex is probably happy to see him instead of Peacock. There wasn't a whole lot of success there facing the starter.
Well, Zeid's got the heater. I don't know if he's got the curveball that Brad Peacock featured tonight. In fact, I know he doesn't.
Pretty good slider.
Decent little slider right there, though. 85 miles an hour.
1-1 to Rios. Zeid from New Haven, Connecticut. Just misses outside. Zeid went on to go to Vanderbilt University. Pitched 2 seasons for the Commodores before he went down to Tulane and finished up down there. Swing and a miss by Rios. It's now 2-2. Zeid a look over his shoulder at first. Now the 2-2 offering. Got him swinging. The golden sombrero, 4 strikeouts for Alex Rios. Rangers gone in the 7th. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We are going to the bottom half of inning number 7. 4-0 Texas. selection of the evening. AT&T bringing you the opportunity to look at this from Nathan. Look at that. Texas blue and white. Guys all dressed up, nowhere to go. Nice going, Nathan. Good stuff. If you'd like to get your photo considered for airing on the show, hashtag Southwest Fan Photo. Tweet it on through and see what we can do. Nick Martinez back to the hill. He came on to get the final out of the 6th inning. Now facing Alex Presley, and he fires a strike to Presley. It's 0-1. Presley has struck out both times that he came to the plate against Colby Lewis this evening. Lewis 8 strikeouts. Colby a season high. And a jam shot, a little pop-up behind the mound. Beltre taking charge, waving off everybody.
Get out of my way, little man.
Yeah, he just looked at Odor, just found out that Adrian Beltre was serious about that.
Elvis knows not to get in his way. Odor doesn't know that yet.
You just found out. So 1 out before Jonathan VR comes up. Let's head back to the studio. Boston game break with John Radigan. John? All right, John, thank you. VR takes a strike for Martinez. VR a walk and a strikeout tonight. For 231 the average. Big curveball, and it stayed high. 1-1. VR a switch hitter. Facing the right-hander Martinez. Pretty good changeup, but it just drifted a bit low. 2 balls and a strike. Well, there's a lot of talk about what to do with Nick Martinez. Rangers would love to get him back to AAA or AA and let him start, get the arm strength built back up and get him used to working as a starter, because they feel that's where he's slotted for the future with the organization. But at the same time, needed some help here at the big league level. And he's certainly done a good enough job to stay on in this role. There's a strike to fill the count. Kind of a darned if you do, darned if you don't.
I think as long as they can get him regular work, he may not project as a reliever down the road. Who knows? But trying to win ball games, and he's helping them win ball games right now.
No doubt about that. Foul tipped into and out of Robinson Chirinos' glove. So still 3-2. The last 2 times he's come into ball games, it's been something more than just middle relief. He's come in the 6th inning and gotten some big outs. Loop to left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Moreland over the plate on a hop, and VR on with his first hit of the night. A 1-out single, and it'll take the Astros back to the top of the order. Jose Altuve is 2 for 3 this evening. Pair of singles. Sandwiched in between was a line drive to center field for an out. Altuve extending his hitting streak to 5 straight games. He's got VR at first with very good speed. Astros trailing 4-0. Nick Martinez trying to keep it right there. It's out of play to the first base side. When Altuve, I bet he goes to Christmas dinner swinging. Nick Martinez okays the sign and sets. Called strike to the outside corner. 0-2 now. Echo pitch tracker showing you that right on the corner. Got him off with a fastball inside. A ball and 2 strikes. Nick Martinez Only 5 games at Double-A last year. That's the highest he had risen in the Ranger organization prior to this year. Tried the breaking ball and just missed off the outside corner. It's now 2-2. Rangers shading Altuve around to the right of the outfield. Infield, the double play depth is pretty much straight away. To right field, hit pretty well. That chases Rios back, but a couple of steps onto the track. Alex able to haul it in. Altuve, the second out of the inning, and it brings up Dexter Fowler.
He's got pretty decent power the other way. He just reached and popped that ball right to the warning track. Now, that's not that far out there, but still, it wasn't just a little lazy fly ball.
Right.
Threatened the warning track anyway. Ball's away from him. And he just kind of slaps it out there and drives it pretty well.
Got up there on his tippy toes to hit that thing. So 2 outs. Fowler 1 for 2. He has walked and tripled. He has also robbed on a very nice play by Odor at second. He got the changeup first pitch and a weak swing for strike 1. So Fowler at 242 with the average. A couple of home runs, 9 driven in. Fastball high and tight. Chirinos flashing the signs to Martinez, and Nick is ready. And with a changeup, and just missed away. It's 2-1. Fowler, the centerpiece of the trade between the Astros and Colorado Rockies in the offseason. Sent Jordan Lyles, who shut the Rangers down last week in Colorado. Pitch outside. It's now 3-1. Astros in return got Dexter Fowler, who they felt really a good piece for them in center field. Very versatile player, relatively young. Guy they can build around. 3-1 pitch is coming. Inside, ball 4. And there are 2 aboard now for Jason Castro. Mike Maddox on his way to the mound to see if he can calm things down just a bit. A 1-out single and now a 2-out walk.
The Astros have had men in scoring position in the first inning, the second inning, and the 6th inning. Had a couple of men on second and third. Hope he was able to pitch out of those jams with the help of Nick Martinez, who got the last start in the 6th inning. And now a couple of more men on here. It feels like it's been all Rangers, but still, it's only a 4-0 ball game. Astros, as we mentioned earlier in the game, tied for 4th in the league in home runs. Take that back. They're 4th with 40 home runs. So with one swing of the bat and a couple of men on base, a 4-0 lead turns into an entirely different ball game. Castro has hit the ball out of the ballpark 5 times this year.
0 for 3 tonight. He has grounded out, flied out, and struck out. Rangers into that overshift now. 3 players on the right side of the infield, and Castro fouling off the first pitch to the left. It is 0-1. Beltre, the only Ranger on the left side of the infield. He's a good 30 feet off the third base line. And he would be further over if there weren't a runner at second. It's Jonathan Villar. 0-1 pitch. Good fastball. 0-2 to Castro. Nick Martinez got 3 outs. Has 2 men on. About ready to uncork his 24th pitch of the outing. A set and the 0-2. Astro doing a pretty good job of laying off that off-speed pitch. Well, the average might not tell you much as you need to know about Jason Castro, and that he's a very good hitter. As a catcher, he is among the leaders the last couple of years in a lot of offensive categories. Now the 1-2 pitch coming to him. Called strike 3. Painting the inside corner, and Castro didn't think so. Talking to Brian Gorman about it. But Nick Martinez with the punch out strands a pair on base. A walk and a base hit. We're going to the 8th inning in Houston. The Rangers 4, the Astros nothing. Rangers game. You get discounted tickets for the game on May 20th. That's against the Mariners. Plus, you get a free Rangers cap in Raider black and red. Go to TexasRangers.com/Texas Tech for details. Guns up. We head on to the 8th inning, and Nick Martinez got the rather tough out. But he got the strikeout of Jason Castro with a couple of runners on to end the 7th. So he's savoring that for the moment. And Darren Downs now has come out of the Astros bullpen. Hard throwing left-hander to take over in this 8th inning.
There's a waiver claim from the Tigers, who was pitching in AAA. Appearing in his 3rd ball game for the Astros.
And Mitch Moreland was the scheduled first hitter. Instead, Michael Choice is coming off the bench to pitch hit to start off the Ranger 8th inning. Well, Moreland finishes 1 for 3 tonight. And Michael Choice, hitting at .233, will step to the plate. Rangers, you might remember, leading almost all of baseball in pinch hitting. They have just gone completely crazy coming off the bench, and Choice has been a big part of that. Michael takes a strike. With the most pinch hits, highest average in the American League. Rip and a miss, and it's 0-2. Downs back to him. Got him swinging. Boy, 3 tough pitches, and Michael Choice is down on strikes. 1 away. Leonis Martin coming up.
Yeah, perfect slider down and in.
Rangers have had a little trouble making contact tonight. That's their 14th strikeout as a team.
Yeah, fortunately, a couple of times they made contact right on out of the ballpark.
That's right. Timing is everything, right? Fly ball pretty well hit to left, but Presley back in front of the warning track. Leonis retired. He is 0 for 4. There are 2 outs, and Robinson Chirinos will be next. 14 strikeouts, 9 hits, 2 walks. So it's kind of an odd line for the club. But leading 4-0, that's the important statistic.
Yeah, generally, I guess if you said someone was going to have you were going to end up your offense 2 walks and 14 strikeouts, you probably wouldn't anticipate 4 runs.
Cooper over the glove of the leaping Villar, and aboard is Robinson Chirinos with his first hit of the night.
He had just enough power to muscle that ball off the handle over shortstop. Let's see what Rougned can do against the lefty here. Ball got in on his fist pretty well, but end result is a base hit. Villar couldn't quite get to it. Needed to be able to jump about 6 more inches.
Well, the Rangers now in double figures with 10 hits tonight. Odor stepping in has 2 of those hits. RBI single and a solo home run. Downs first pitch. A breaking ball, and it dips low for ball 1. Odor now, if he average up to 267, he is 4 for 15. And he gets a strike on the inside corner to even the count. Here's the home run back in the 6th inning. Three rows deep up in the upper deck. Now, he was trying for that scoreboard shot you were talking about.
I don't know if he can get that, but he got all that. He got all that home run, boy.
Swings here and pops one up into shallow center field. Villar backpedaling, makes the catch, and that'll do it. Rangers get a hit, but strand a runner. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It's the Rangers 4, the Astros 0 on Fox Sports Southwest. Suite in Globe Life Park with sweeping views of center field. It provides an unparalleled panorama of the ballpark. Individual, all-inclusive single game tickets are available for Saturday, May 17th. Visit TexasRangers.com/Batter's Eye for more details. Rangers leading 4-0. They have out hit the Astros tonight 10-8. Both ball clubs committing an error each. And Nick Martinez back out to the hill. Nick has worked an inning and a third thus far tonight, and he will face the middle third of the Astros order, Dominguez, Krause, and Springer in the 8th inning. Martinez came on with 2 outs in the 6th for Colby Lewis. He got the final out of that frame. That Dominguez 1 for 4, or 1 for 3, I should say. That single was the 2-hopper he hit out to Odor at second that went right in the shirt of Rougned. couldn't get it out, and it scored as a base hit.
Be able to watch that on the highlights tonight. That might be the one, Buzz.
Might be the one. Could be. Have to turn into Fox Sports Live and see a little later on. 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2. Dominguez hitting .254 as he faces Martinez. Chirinos wants that pitch up, and that's where he got it, and it's popped up. Towering foul ball down the third baseline, right at the railing. Elvis and Beltre reaching in, but can't get it.
Elvis pushed Beltre out of the way. I like Elvis was saying, I don't think you can get it. I might have to help you here. That ball looked like it went through the
girders.
The girders of the upper. Let's see right here. Look out! Get out of the way. I can reach in farther than you. I'm younger.
They're still talking about it.
That'd be the price to pay for that. I don't know what it'll be, but
foul back to the screen. Still 0-2.
Last two fastballs right where he wanted to.
Dominguez, along with the infield single, grounded to short and fouled out to Prince Fielder. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Field down to first, and the palms down safe sign given.
Tough one to lay off of. It's a good pitch after a couple of good fastballs.
Now the 1-2. Up the middle and into center field, a base hit. Dominguez with his second hit. He is aboard to start off the 8th inning. Let's head back to the studio for a preview of Rangers Live coming up. And here's John Radigan. Thanks, John. Look forward to that. One on, nobody out. Mark Krause takes the pitch just off the outer edge for ball one. Krause, a 4th inning single. That would stand in between a strikeout and a fly out to left. Rangers shading around to the right side on the infield. Krause hits it pretty well to right field. That sends Rios back, but he has room. Alex stopping in front of the track to make the catch. Back to first goes Dominguez. And he's there with 1 out now for George Springer.
He must have gotten jammed a little bit on that one. It didn't really have the good sound to it and didn't really jump off his bat. No, off the end of the bat. That's why it didn't jump. Had pretty good movement on it. Tailing action. Caused the ball to go from what might have been the good part of the bat toward the end of the bat. And it just kind of made a thud and went 340 feet.
Here's Springer, who struck out twice and singled against Colby Lewis. Check swing. It's a foul tip. Into and out of the glove with Robinson Chirinos. 0-1 to Springer. Nick Martinez peering in for the sign from Chirinos. Checks Dominguez back at first base. Springer able to lay off that good breaking ball. It is 1-1. Springer's probably seen enough of those breaking balls now he's going to have nightmares about it.
Well, he's seen some tough ones, and he's swung at some of them out of the strike zone, but he's missed some that were pretty good pitches to hit. He finally caught up with one that hung out over the middle of the plate and hit a hard shot in the left field for a base hit.
And he's ahead of the count now at 2-1, and Neil Cott's loosening in the Ranger bullpen. Andy Hawkins, the Major assistant pitching coach out there keeping tabs on things. 2-1 the count to Springer. Now 3-1. The ball gets away from Torino, so Dominguez down to second on the wild pitch. Ball coming up and bouncing awkwardly off the chest protector and away from Torino. So that removes any chance of a ground ball double play, and the count is now 3-1 to Springer, and he's going to back out. As Nick Martinez taking a little too long for his liking. Nick sets a check of second and the 3-1 pitch. 3-2. Martinez peers in for the sign. And with a nod of the head, he comes set at the belt. Payoff pitch. Line drive up the ladder goes Elvis. He can't reach it. It's into left center field. Choice over to get it. And now runners at first and third with one out. Chris Carter coming up.
He blooped it, and it looked for a second like Elvis might time it perfectly and catch it, but it was hit just a little bit too high. Caught him off the handle, but he found a hole in left field, about a foot over Elvis's glove. Now, when Nick first came into the game, it was second and third, 2 outs for Chris Carter. He threw him a breaking ball. Carter hit it right off the end of the bat back to the mound. Well, it's first and third now with 1 out. And you got a dangerous guy at the plate. I don't think Wash is going to come out.
Yep. I don't think he had Cox up there in the bullpen, and it looks like that's who he's going to do. So he wants the experience of Neil Cox coming in to face Chris Carter, even though it's a left-hander against a right-hander. So Cox will be making his way in from the bullpen. He'll set up runners at the corners with 1 out. Carter up there, and Neil Cox will face him. We'll tell you more about it when we come back right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Would like to remind you that right back here tomorrow night, Fox Sports Southwest, 7 o'clock, it'll be Matt Harrison and Dallas Keuchel. Battle of left-handers. Harrison got his first win just the other day at 287 in 3 starts. Dallas Keuchel 3-2 with a 368 in 7 starts for the Astros.
And Neil Cox coming on with a couple of men on to face Chris Carter. Carter has a double in the game. Came into the game hitting 165, but he's got 5 home runs and hit a bunch of home runs last year. So you can get him out, but you have to make good pitches. You don't want to make a mistake right here. It's a close ball game.
Kott's ready. The first pitch to Carter. Cutter inside for ball 1. Carter has doubled, struck out, and tapped back to the mound. He was the first pit hitter that, as Tom told you, that Nick Martinez faced coming in, and that could have gone into the decision-making process, too, for Ron Washington. Didn't want Martinez to face him twice. Low and inside, it's 2 balls and no strikes. Neil Kott's worked an inning yesterday. Gave up a hit, had a strikeout against the Red Sox. On here in a tough situation, runners at first and third with just 1 out in the 8th inning. The 2-0 pitch coming to Carter. And that's inside, 3 balls and no strikes. Echo pit tracker showing you that last one could have been called a strike.
Definitely trying to keep the ball into Carter, not let him extend his arms.
He thought about having a rip at that, and it was a good pitch away. He took it 3-1. 5 out of 8 times Carter has gotten the runner home from third with less than 2 outs. Neil Kotz sets at the letters, the 3-1 pitch. Well, he tied him up well with that 92-mile-an-hour cut fastball right in on his fist.
Yep, that's Neil at his best right there. Great movement, great velocity, perfect location.
Now the payoff pitch is on the way. Pop foul, that's going to reach the seats behind home plate, and we'll come back and try it again.
Got a pitch to hit, couldn't catch up with it.
Neil Kotz ready once again to check of the runners. The 3-2 got him swinging. That one he elevated just a little bit, and Chris Carter couldn't catch up. A very big out, number 2.
Carter worked the count, got into a hitter's count. Missed a pretty good fastball to hit, and couldn't catch up with a high fastball for strike 3.
Now Kotz is going to face a pinch hitter for Alex Presley. Jesus Guzman will come on, and Mike Maddox out there to refresh the scouting report. Both Kotz and Chirinos. A little wry smile on Mike's face, too, as if to say, well, you got that guy pretty easy, huh? No problem. Guzman to the plate, a 200 hitter. He's the right-handed hitting portion of what's basically a first base platoon for the Astros.
The Astros are 1 for 14 pinch hitting. Haven't had quite the same success the Rangers have.
No.
Krause is the only Astro to have a hit as a pinch hitter.
Kott's first pitch to Guzman. It was high and tight. The fastball pushed him back. 1-0 the count.
The Astros have had a couple of men on the last 3 innings. Haven't been able to score in the 6th of the 7th, and Neil's trying to put the end to the 8th inning right here and keep him from scoring in this inning as well.
Now the 1-0. There's a belt high strike. 1-1. Guzman 0 for his last 3. Only had 10 at bats on the just completed road trip for the Astros. That's 7 ball games. Got Dominguez at third, Springer at first. The 1-1 pitch from Kotz. Couldn't pull the trigger. It's 1-2. Not an easy assignment, I would think, coming off the bench to face a guy like Neil Kotz.
No, you know, Neil's throwing hard. He's got good movement on the cutter, and even though that one was right in the middle of the plate, still had a good movement on it.
Yep.
Couldn't pull the trigger on it.
The 1-2. 2-2. Guzman, formerly with the San Diego Padres. Astros brought him in to give him some right-handed pop. 2-2 pitch from Kotz. It's in the dirt, and the count is full. Second straight hitter that Neil has gone to a full count. With 2 outs now, Springer will be off and moving with the next pitch from Neil Kotz. If Guzman is able to keep this inning alive, Jonathan Villar, the shortstop, waits to be next. Guzman back in the batter's box. Kotz studying the signs. The left-hander is set. Springer on the move. Payoff pitch. And a little roller down the first baseline. It's hugging the chalk and goes foul. Kotz was going to let it roll, and Chris Fielder was playing back near the bag to see if it would come back fair. It wouldn't. And we'll have to try that whole setup again. Maddox pointing some things out to Ron Washington about the pitching matchups. Guzman, a big sign, now back in. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on and 2 out. Another 3-2 pitch is on the way. Got him swinging. Kotz back-to-back strikeouts on 3-2 pitches, and the Astros get a couple of hits, but strand 2 in the 8th. On to the 9th, 4-0 Rangers. Again brings you savings when you visit Globe Life Park. Enter Dr. Pepper as the coupon code at TexasRangers.com/specials. Or you can bring any Dr. Pepper can to the ballpark for savings of at least 25% for most Sunday through Thursday games. Offer is good through July, and the perfect way to see the Rangers play the Mariners coming up May 20th and 21st. Those will be the last 2 times you get to see the Rangers at home this month. Globe Life Park will be vacant for the Rangers after that series against Seattle. On to the 9th inning we go. Rangers leading 4-0. Top of the order to face Darren Down. Shin-Soo Choo will start things off. Choo tonight 1 for 4. A single and a run scored. Swings through that first fastball from the lefty Darren Downs. Downs gave up a hit in the 8th inning, but did not surrender a run. Jesus Guzman has stayed in the ballgame to play at first base. And Mark Krause has moved from first out to left field. The 1-1 out in front of home plate. Tough play and a nice play by the pitcher Darren Downs. Boy, he didn't have time to set himself and throw. And Credit Guzman was making a pretty good play with the footwork down there at first.
He just grabbed that ball and launched it. Made an accurate throw. Ball's kind of out there halfway between the mound. Threw it 1 foot off balance without looking at first base.
So Darren Downs asked to get the left-hander Chu to start off the inning. Now with the right-handers coming up, Cole Porter has called for the right-hander Clemens to come in out of the bullpen. So another pitching change underway here at Minute Maid. We will take a timeout. Back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Clemens, a 26-year-old right-hander, has been asked to come on to face Elvis Andrus. The Rangers and Ranger fans texting their joy, or maybe they're tweeting their photos. Hashtag Southwest Fan Photo, and the AT&T can help us get those photos on the air.
Paul Clemens will be pitching in his 6th ball game for the Astros. He'll face Anderson Beltre here in the 9th inning.
Elvis has faced Clemens 1 time in his career. He had a single off of him. And looks at strike 1. Elvis 1 for 4, had a first inning double. Since then has grounded out 3 separate times. Big curveball drops outside. 1-1 the count. Clemens to the wind. The next pitch to Elvis. 1-2. Elvis not particularly thrilled with Brian Gorman's call, but finds himself down in the count. Paul Clemens came over from the Atlanta Braves system July of 2011. That was the deal that sent Michael Bourne from Houston to Atlanta. Slowly hit ground ball out to Altuve. Out number 2. Now Adrian Beltre will come up. Beltre 2 for 4 tonight. And the do-ups that Joaquin Soria is looking at, facing in the bottom of the 9th inning. Right now it's Not going to be a safe situation for him, but I don't think Ron Washington cares if it's technically a save or not. He wants those final 3 outs as quickly as possible. Beltre 2 for 4 with a 2-run home run this evening. He lashes one high and deep down the right side, but that's well foul. It's 0-1. Adrian now tied for second on the club with 3 home runs. A dozen RBI for the Ranger third sacker. Clemens next pitch. And another foul off to the right. Beltre, in 3 previous appearances against Paul Clemens, has had no luck whatsoever. 0 for 3, and he's managed 1 ground ball and 2 pop outs. Down on the count here, 0-2. Castro flashing the signs out. Clemens agrees. And the breaking ball got him swinging. But Clemens comes on, gets a ground out and a strikeout. Rangers gone in the ninth. It is now Joaquin Soria time. He'll face Villar, Altuve, and Fowler. 4-0 Texas. Ball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. By AT&T UVerse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT. Rethink possible. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Take the EcoBoost Challenge to see why Ford is the best in Texas. The bottom of the ninth, Rangers on top 4-0. And Joaquin Soria, the Ranger closer, brought in a non-safe situation, but nonetheless an important situation to get the final 3 outs and preserve this victory that'll snap a 2-game losing streak.
And he hasn't pitched a lot. He's only pitched once since the second. He's retired each of the last 17 batters he's faced. And opponents are hitless in their last 26 at-bats. Last guy to get hit was Jason Castro. Back on April 12th. 8 scoreless innings with 11 strikeouts and no walks in his last 8 games.
Jonathan Villar takes strike 2, and well, Joaquin Soria just comes in firing strikes no matter what. Villar 1 for 2 tonight. Singled his last time up. Also walked and struck out. 0-2 pitch. Couldn't get him to offer it that high fastball. It's 1-2. Soria, a long hook in, now decides to step off the back of the pitching rubber momentarily. Now he's ready to go. 2-2. We are hitting at 237. He is 0 for 3 lifetime against Soria. There's that big slow hook. We'll see you later. Holy cow, that thing dropped in. It looked like it was coming from the 15th floor.
He's just got so many ways he can get you out. And he just finishes him off with a kind of a Yu Darvish-like curveball. Slow curveball that dropped right in the top of the strike zone. DR just wasn't ready to swing at it. Was fooled by it. Knows it's a strike. Just wasn't anything he could do about it.
So 1 out. Now Jose Altuve up for his 5th at bat of the night. He is 2 for 4 with a pair of singles. And that breaking ball just off the outside corner. Altuve has only faced Soria 1 time. He had a sacrifice fly against him. That obviously not a concern right here. You take the sacrifice fly, I guess. One and one. Looking at me like I'm crazy. Take a sacrifice fly with nobody on in the 9th inning.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It's an out.
Just won't count. It can't count as a run. It just counts as an out.
Yeah. That shot down the right field corner. Altuve motoring into second. He has his 3rd hit of the night. Opposite field double for Altuve.
That's the first hit that Soria's given up. First batter he's allowed to get on base. He's retired each of the last 18 hitters before that double. Mentioned that Altuve was hot. He came into the game hitting .288. He's got 3 hits tonight. And he's swinging it up there.
Altuve with a 12th double of the season for him at second base now. And Dexter Fowler will be the next to face Joaquin Soria. Fowler tonight has walked twice, tripled, and grounded out. Slow breaking ball hangs high and outside.
Astros actually have more hits than the Rangers. They have 11 hits. Rangers have 2 home runs. Astros have a triple and a couple of doubles. They just haven't gotten the hit when they've needed it tonight.
Rip and a miss on the fastball. It's 1-1. Yeah, they've coming into this and they've stranded the 11th. Ron Washington's pitching staff has not given in. They've bent but haven't broken, I think is the way to put it.
Well, the Rangers have struck out 15 times. The Astros have struck out 12 times.
Low and inside. The count runs to 2-1. Ranger infield plays Fowler around to the right side. As a left-handed hitter, he's a switch hitter. Up there from the left side against the righty Soria. And ball 3 is high. Chirino's going to go out and say something to Joaquin. This is not the time to be falling behind people if you can help it. I mean, you don't have to pitch carefully to Fowler. You got 1 man on. You get a 4-run lead in the 9th inning. But you know, sometimes, Tom, we've seen this happen frequently. As closers come in a non-save situation, have a devil of a time getting the juice flowing or whatever you want to call it.
They just don't have the adrenaline pumping.
3-1 pitch. Yeah, he's right down the middle. Fowler taking all the way, and that fills the count. Fowler, the number 2 hitter, to be followed by the catcher, Jason Castro. Altuve at second at the bottom of your screen. Soria with a payoff pitch. Fouled back. Fowler tonight has had a lot of long at-bats. 2 walks, played the string out all the way, and he has seen a lot of pitches, fouled off a lot of pitches. Soria okays the sign. Got him swinging.
And chase the high fastball. Probably out of the strike zone.
So Fowler gone. Strikeout number 2 for Soria.
High heat and a little bit out of the zone. Got him to chase it. Should have swung a 3-1 pitch. Yeah. 13 strikeouts for Astros hitters.
Jason Castro now with 2 outs and Altuve at second. The last hope for the Astros. Castro 0 for 4 tonight. Pair of strikeouts, a fly out, and a ground out. Soria a check of second, and the first pitch is a fastball right through there. Castro 1 for 3 with a triple against Joakim Soria, and you see with runners in scoring position.
That pretty much tells you all you need to know right there.
Castro's hitting below 200.
1 for 10 tonight.
Big slow hook swung on and missed. 0-2 to Castro.
It's a little harder curveball than the slow one he tossed up and got VR looking at.
Castro out of the batter's box having a conversation with himself. Something to do with stay back. 0-2 the count. Now time called. Ron Washington, Tim Bogar, Mike Maddox keeping an eye on things from the Ranger dugout on the third base side. Soria is ready to go. The 0-2 pitch. We'll have to try it again. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. 7 o'clock, Fox Sports Southwest. Will be Matt Harrison and Dallas Keuchel. A rabid Ranger fan cheering for the final out of this ball game. Soria to the set. Got him swinging. Joakim Soria closes it out in style by striking out the side in the 9th inning, despite giving up a double to Altuve, and the Rangers put it in the win column here tonight. 4-0 the final, despite being out hit 11-10 by the Astros. Astros end up stranding 12 runners here this evening, and Colby Lewis gets over 500 for the year, his 3rd victory in 5 decisions. Joakim